The year was 1845. William Dunton, the son of a stonecutter, looked over the vast expanse of prairie before him, chose a level spot, and began building the first house on land that would eventually become Arlington Heights. Dunton first named the town Bradley, but quickly changed it to Dunton after discovering that the name Bradley was already taken in Illinois. Dunton had high hopes for the new town. He persuaded the Illinois and Wisconsin Railroad to make a stop in the village, and the depot was built in 1854, enabling a new wave of businesses and residents to settle there. The town grew, and in 1874 was officially renamed Arlington Heights. It was incorporated by the state of Illinois in 1887, and its first mayor was a man called G.A. Schmidt. By the early 1900s, high school level classes were being held in two grade school buildings. Here, small groups of high school students learned and prepared for adult life in Arlington Heights. The first two graduates of these classes were George Clem Jr. and Esther Stanger Rennick in 1910. The proposal to build a community high school was first introduced in 1914, immediately sparking contentious litigation over its funding. Over the next 8 years, the subject continued to be hotly debated as Arlington Heights evolved and the country went through the First World War. The 1920s were a time of great prosperity and exuberance in America. The economy soared and the outlook for the future was bright. When Alexander Graham Bell died in 1922, all phones in the USA went silent for 1 minute as a tribute. The first talkie movie, The Jazz Singer, was released in 1927, and Arlington Park Racetrack was built. In 1922, the decision was finally made to form School District 214. J.N. Coleman of Chicago was commissioned to draw up the architectural design of the new high school, which was then known as Arlington Heights Township High School. Construction began on 11 acres of farmland on Euclid Avenue, and the cornerstone was laid on October 21, 1922. The original 21-room building was a modern gem, featuring a Gothic-style exterior constructed of brown brick, dark chocolate mortar, and Bedford stone trim. It featured an ornate main entranceway and a stately circle drive. The first school year at the new facility commenced in September of 1923, and the first graduating class of 1924 was comprised of 12 students. Boys' sports were an immediate function as Arlington competed in football, basketball, track, and baseball. The 1920s also saw the introduction of such long-lasting institutions as the Cardinal School newspaper, the Student Council, and an active theater program. It wasn't long before the sprawling student population made the big modern building suddenly seem rather small and cramped. Therefore, an additional wing was built onto the east side of the building in 1929. 1929 also saw the crash of the stock market, which brought an abrupt end to the carefree revelry of the decade. The 1930s ushered in a brand new era of uncertainty and perseverance.